In third grade, I vividly remember sitting down in my classroom with my mom to meet with my teacher about some issues I'd been having in the class. My teacher chatted with my mom for a bit before turning to me to share words I'll never forget. Bella, you can't make everyone happy all the time. My 8-year-old brain was so confident that she was wrong, and I would spend the next decade of my life, unknowingly, don't worry, not that spiteful, trying to prove that I could, in fact, make everyone happy. I've always been a perfectionist and a little bit of a control freak. Anything I do must be done to a certain level with no exceptions, and everything gets organized into some kind of color-coded chart in my head. Anything beyond that often causes me a lot of anxiety. So naturally, when I left my elementary school that I'd been at my entire life to come to Appleby, I was terrified. Though in reality, it was just a matter of a different 15-minute drive to school, not knowing who would be in my classes, who my teachers would be, how to get anywhere, and all the other changes that came with going to a new school were terrifying. All the systems I had established for my own life had to completely change. The only things I really felt like I could control in my new environment was how I made people feel and what other people thought of me. I would spare no expense trying to make others feel good, even if that was at the expense of my own happiness. Nobody could ever know if I was upset or struggling with something because it was nobody else's job to help me. I had to be the most perfect version of Bella possible because that was the only likable version of Bella. I had to make my teachers happy with great grades, my parents too. I had to help everyone that I could, no matter what, because that's what good people do. Anything less than living up to the perfect Bella standard was completely unacceptable. This past holiday break, I was planning on finishing my portfolio to complete my art school applications. Those who are currently working on or who have finished their portfolios know what a massive task this is to be completed over a 3-week holiday break. Art takes time. Yet, despite knowing all this, I was determined to finish it. Not only was my portfolio going to be finished, it was going to be perfect. I wanted to capture all of the creative potential that I've been told I had. My plans and systems were in place, sketchbook pages were filled, and days were planned to the minute. But when I sat down to work on one of my first pieces, my brain was drawing a total blank. Art takes energy, which I quickly realized I had none of. I was completely burnt out, anxious about the idea of not completing this work to the best of my ability, and completely miserable. I really thought I was disappointing everyone who had ever believed in me. My family, my friends, and my teachers. I really hated myself. This hate extended to every part of my life. I stopped believing in my own abilities. I didn't want to do any of the things I had previously loved. I didn't even feel like being around people. I had always had issues with my self-confidence, but this was truly an all-time low. In the weeks that followed, I really struggled and didn't talk to anyone about it, even those who I trusted the most. Art, something that's always been an outlet for me, was now enemy number one. In classic Bella fashion, I let all of these negative emotions snowball for far too long till it resulted in a total breakdown. Despite my best efforts to keep it all together, I literally felt like a shell of Bella. I was embarrassed for feeling like I had failed and for not being the same happy sunshine kid I was known for being. My cheer team, my whole community, really pulled through for me in those weeks. I received such an amazing outpouring of love and support from my family, my advisor, and my closest friends, even though I didn't explain the whole story most of the time. Upon approaching her for guidance, a very wise role model of mine told me that if I couldn't find a reason to be proud of myself, that she would hold those reasons for me, and when I needed them, I could always come and lean on her for that support. My friends looked out for me, gave me a shoulder to cry on, and really helped me make a comeback. My parents, like always, cheered me on, made me laugh, supported me no matter what. My dad even dropped off tortellini when I was in boarding for me as a snack, as a pick-me-up. Upon reflecting, the only person who set that bar so high was me. The standard I thought everyone held me to, dropping everything to help someone, outstanding artist, great grades, going to revolutionize the world in whatever industry I chose, was all in my head. I now know that I really had nothing to prove to anyone, only to myself. I didn't end up finishing my portfolio, and that's more than okay. I have so much more to be proud of. My worth as a person, as an artist, and as a leader don't rely on achieving anything. Those few weeks were really valuable learning for me. It's more than okay to not be okay. You're allowed to have feelings, and you don't have to be perfect, or anything close to that. You can be vulnerable, you can be weak, you can be a complete disaster. It's okay to feel that way. Give yourself permission to lean on your community and ask for help. Now, this will come as no surprise to anyone who's ever been in a class with me or knows me well. My favorite book is a picture book. It's called Have You Filled a Bucket Today? The whole premise of the book is that everyone in the world holds a bucket that holds the good thoughts and feelings that you have about yourself. We can be bucket fillers or bucket dippers, spreading positive energy to those around us, or being mean and taking some of the good things from their buckets. I only have one issue with the book. It talks about the impact of our words on others, but it never talks about the impact that we have on ourselves. You can be a bucket filler or a bucket dipper to yourself too. So hi, my name is Bella, and I'm a total bucket dipper. Even now, I still struggle with being vulnerable without making a sarcastic comment or a joke about it. Sometimes I still try and be perfect for everyone else, but the most important thing is I'm working on it. Whether you're 14 or 40, a student or member of faculty, struggling with your self-confidence is a very real experience. It's really easy to say, you should believe in yourself or just be yourself. But I think all of us know that it's not that simple. As we've all seen, given the situation over the last couple of weeks, our lives as we know them can completely change in a matter of days. And this fall brings even more changes for all of us, taking on new classes, a new grade band, new students, new teachers, or even moving on to the next chapter of your life. Rather than having unshakable confidence in times of uncertainty, change, and failure, it's human nature to doubt ourselves and question our own capabilities. What if my students don't like me? What if my teachers don't like me? What if I make no friends? What if I can't do it? By doing this, all we do is limit our own potential. In these times, it's more important than ever that you believe in your own abilities to overcome and truly own what makes you you. In the words of Dr. Seuss, in Oh, the Places You'll Go, you'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with great care and great tact, and remember that life is a great balancing act. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. As I think about our Appleby family, I think about so many kind, talented, and brilliant people. The world may be a scary place sometimes, but the only way to conquer it is to recognize how truly amazing you are. Sometimes that's not possible, and that's when, instead of sitting in our slump, it's important to reach out to your community and find someone to hold all of those things that you deserve to be proud of. There's absolutely no shame in not having it all together and being vulnerable. I hope you take the opportunity on a daily basis to reflect on what those amazing things are, what makes you who you are, and recognize that being yourself, whether you're 14, 40, or 85, that it's the only true way to obtain perfection. My third grade teacher was right. You can't make everyone happy. You can't be the perfect person for everyone. It's not your responsibility, and you're doing yourself such a disservice by trying to be what you think someone else needs. It's not always about being perfect or being the best at anything. It's about being authentic to yourself, keeping it real, and being more than okay with who that person is. In my case, it's about being the most Bella possible and knowing that that's good enough. And now we'll end with the hymn, She Comes Sailing on the Wind.